Well, good people, good people, good people. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, and Sunday means Scratcho. We live, 254, we live. But before I begin today, I just have appeal. My heart goes out to Keegan's family. He's been missing now, going on 2 weeks. So my heart goes out to him, and I really hope that we can find him. So everybody, please, 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 especially folks in Minnesota, if you can share the story, man, go to my page. Let's share the story. Let's help a Yugi family bring Keegan back home. Let's find Keegan. So if anybody's out there, especially my friends all in Minnesota, let's share. Let's share. If you anywhere else, there's a GoFundMe page set up to help the family with the search. So again, I'm gonna share those on my um, social media handles. So please, 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 the little you can do, that's well appreciated. Thank you very much, and for everybody who's been sharing that story and all the work being done there in Minnesota, just to search for Keegan. Thank you and kudos to everybody doing that. But today I'm hosting Nancy. Nancy is we go back. She played basketball, and she is a co-founder of Mama Fitness Kenya, and she's also a women fitness trainer. So, with no further ado, I'm bringing on Nancy. Nancy, how you doing today?
Great, coach. How about you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Everything so far so good. I know we're in a pandemic, and you being out of Kenya, how is everything going on and everything happening out there? How has the pandemic hit you all, and how you staying just safe and being able to concentrate on what you do?
In Addis is more the same like Nairobi because everyone is taking care of themselves. Right now is not as the way COVID it started like last year. The way it was really strictly that people have to be in the house and just self isolate. Right now, people are still going to work, but at the same time, everyone is taking good care of themselves. Like you have to wear your masks, not shaking hands, of course, and distance and all that because I mean we have to take care of ourselves. Well, the others who have already taken their vaccinations, I'm looking forward to having mine soon. But still, even with the vaccination, I'm still like taking really, really care of myself and my family. Yeah, and Addis
Yeah,
is a blessed to be.
yeah. You say one thing I always tell everybody. You gotta do what's right for you and your family, and also, be your neighbor's keeper. Just do what's right. So I'm blessed. I'm in a position where I already got my vaccine. I was one of the first people who got the vaccine. So I work in a health setting, so we still have to get the vaccine. But I travel, but whenever I'm in a place where obviously Texas is opening up, but whenever I'm in a place where it's crowded and all, I still observe that. I still put on my mask, because I think it's the right thing for me to do. Uh, because you never know. The next person next to you might not have a vaccine, or they might have some commodities that will make them, succumb to COVID. So you never know who's next to you. So great advice right there. Just be your brother's keeper. But everybody I think knows you right now as Mama Fitness Kenya. But I think your story goes back when you were playing basketball. How did you start playing the game of basketball? And what pushed you into basketball?
Oh, basketball was just the best sport for me to play. I would say I started back in my primary school in Kenya Navy. I would see. Well, I'm a Navy kid. Back in
Mtongwe, the
Mombasa.
one Mtongwe.
Oh my God, it's just reminding me about home. I'm now homesick because Kenya Navy is just the place where we grew up. It was more of a family. You know, when you're staying in a barrack, the way it's more of family. You do stuff together. You go to the same school. So there was this basketball court that would go in the evening, like after school, to see the soldiers playing, and my interest started from there. So I wasn't playing like a sport I would want to really learn, but I was playing to find my way out on how to dribble and all that. Then now I go to high school, and I'm so blessed to have been coached by one of the best coaches, Mr. Kisoi. I'm very sure you know him.
Yeah, shout out to the GS General Secretary, Mr.
Yeah,
Gisoi. Yeah, yeah,
Kisoi,
good man. Yeah.
Kisoi taught us the discipline of basketball. Kisoi made me know that there's no sport that you cannot play without discipline and being consistent. And even in, I would want to say that I'm very sad that one of our teachers passed on, Mr. Mwangi. He was also our basketball teacher. Sometimes I think about him and I really feel bad, because he also he also really played a big role in my life to become very sporty. So why I grew in basketball is because Kisoi was a very good coach and very disciplined. The things that he taught us, the values that he taught us for basketball, and the basic skills. And that's when I got to learn that you have to know the basics of a sport or anything in life, because you cannot say that you know something and you've not gone to the basics. So Kisoi will teach us how to dribble. When I'm thinking, why is he teaching us how to dribble and we already know how to, like to move the balls? It was so
Yeah.
boring. I tell you, it was very boring to me that he would take us to the basics, but we got to appreciate um, the basics training that he gave us every day. Because you see, as a player, you just want to go and play inside, and then now he's coming like an all hour of dribbling and shooting.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking, why is he doing this? But you know what, Peter? Do you know right now my kids play basketball and I train them the basics. When I see them do some funny stuff, I'm thinking, why are you doing that? I'm trying to
Yeah.
be my
Yeah.
coach. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I started playing back in high school, and the competitions, I would say, also going to compete with other schools. My motivation grew because I'd always want to the feeling of winning, the feeling of we've made it, the feeling of we've worked hard for this. And the girls that we used to work out to play basketball with, Emma, Tesh, Agi. We are still tight to death because basketball just trained us. So I remember this particular time that we went to, because our school had not gone to provincials, and then our team is the one that made it to the provincials and also
Hey,
actually
look here now. Big achievement, that's big in Kenya. That's big.
watch, just the feeling of, oh my God, we did it, we made it. And then now we're going there, we're playing with them, very big teams, the schools that they were just every year they had it. They were winning and all that. Then now it's us. We're going to compete with them. Then we still got to the finals. Then I was like, what? So basketball is, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
basketball is something that will take me far. Then I told Kisoi, we did not win at the provincials, but we got to the finals. So for me, that was huge. And I just thought it was that is you what and what the feeling of you feel so nice, you feel so good, like with sweat, because soil would make us wake up very early in the morning. By 4:30, imagine we're running laps because
Discipline.
of
You get
going.
that discipline. You get that discipline in life also. Those life
Uh,
lessons. These are life lessons.
yeah. So imagine training all that, then you don't win. So for us, it was huge, and that's why basketball has just been amazing. Then now from that, now I mean I was in Form 4, we couldn't go to games anymore. So I talked to Isoi, and gladly enough, because I didn't know that he was connected to the basketball. While you're in school, high school, you're just
You just go
like,
school. Yes. Yes.
yeah. So then it connects me to Ojuku in Mombasa, because I was staying in Mombasa. Then now I joined KPA, of course not at the team, but just as getting to know the field of basketball out there. Then now it was not easy to penetrate through KPA because I didn't stay for long in Mombasa before. Now I went um, to campus.
Yeah.
So going to Nairobi, now I tried joining Eastern Queens, and then where your wife was, and she was amazing. Together with Brenda, those are just the best women that stood with me, because then I was new to the teams, and but they really really helped me. So from there, that's when I went to Kampala, and Kampala KIU. I joined the basketball team, and you know what, coach? I mean, God is just too amazing that I got a scholarship to study in KIU for 3 years because of basketball. So basketball for me, it's huge. I mean, God used basketball scholarship for me to study in Kampala. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy.
yeah,
I tell people, like, think about my story, like just bouncing a basketball. Like, you, you know
yeah,
you think that people who do great things, people have done great things, but I travel because of bouncing a basketball. When you look at the people who have knowledge, doctors, whatever, but I travel just because of bouncing. It's as
yeah,
crazy as it sounds. I understand that. And you mentioned KIU, and one time I was talking to George. I was talking to Collins
yeah.
Odhiambo from Elevate, and he talked about how much of an influence you are in his life when he was trying to get a scholarship. Because he said he
Yeah.
came there, he didn't know anybody. He got on a bus and he was like, I'm going to Uganda because guys are getting scholarships. And he landed there, and he says you are one of the people who really helped mentor him and show him the ropes until he got his own scholarship.
Oh, I'm so glad. It really makes me happy to hear such stories, because like it's amazing just giving back to the society, not knowing that in future it's going to pay off. So when he was in school, he came in as a first year, and just joining school, you don't know your whereabouts and all that. And well, I'm so glad that I was a blessing to him. Sometimes he tells me things that I don't even remember. Like
Yeah, yeah,
at the year I gave him my laptop to use. I used to buy him food, and I can't remember those things. But I'm so glad for even for his growth. I mean, he's such an amazing kid, and the things he's doing out there to still give back to the society. And you see, coach, is because of his discipline
yes,
in playing basketball, because that's one of actually it's his main sport, and he's really doing amazing things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If anybody, if you're watching, Colin elevates. Yeah, that's his handle. He does a great job. But again, like, so, you finished basketball, and I know I've listened to some of your, seen you speak and seen you present and seen you do your Facebook live videos and talk about it. So before we get into all this, like, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you think it's important to go to prison? Why do you think fitness is important? Why do you think that those things are important, that enough that you go out of your way to share that with other people?
Coach, this world needs love. This world needs people who would freely give what God has given them. Um, for me, being raised, especially in a barrack in a navy setting, and my dad being very disciplined, and seeing how they would give themselves, that that itself trained me or made me to become a human that would love to give back to the society. And I would say, we are not living in this world alone. We are living in this world with our neighbors, with our brothers, with our sisters, and everyone needs someone. And especially in this generation, with the things that have been going on, the mental health issues, coach, you'll be so sad, or to know that there are people who are at the point of suicide, and you would you would think you would not think that the only thing that they need is just for someone to talk to them. And
Yeah, someone to listen.
miraculously, yeah, miraculously, when someone gives a call to them, they'll say, you know what, I was thinking of committing suicide, but your call has made me feel more of an important person, and I feel I can become a better person. So for me, giving back is something that I don't think I would stop doing. And I feel also just getting to know God and being a Christian, and also being born in a setting where um, living with your neighbors as family, it's very important. I was raised in Mombasa. In Mombasa, we live like family. Your
Yeah,
neighbors
yeah,
are not hungry, and you're there, they call you, you eat together. So
yes.
the togetherness also played a big part in my life, to just give back to the society. So nowadays, it even makes me really sad, because I mean, um, trusting even your neighbor to leave them with your kids, or
It's
to
hard.
leave to leave them with anything of you, you already have a second thought. Then we didn't have that. and
Yes.
and and that's making life like really, really hard. So for me, coach, giving back to the society is a very important bit of my life, and then it gives me a satisfaction that I cannot explain it, that money cannot give. I mean, we've had money, we've had things, but to be very sincere, I would like be very, very glad. There are things that have given me very temporal joy, but when God gives me an opportunity to be a blessing to someone's life, and I see how they're turning out to be in life, and I see like Collins, those are so many years back then, and he still calls me and tells me, Mom, Usisa, how you are blessing in my life. And I'm thinking, okay, those are the things that keep me going and saying, you know what, I will not stop being a good human, because this world needs good human, to just love and show kindness,
And
you know.
you got that right, and you're on the right path. I keep blazing that, keep blazing, and do not let anybody stop you. That's like me. I think I look back when I started my journey, and I
Mhm.
it's crazy. Like I tell people this, and everybody's like, "No, you are lucky, you are this." But I tell people I did not have anything special. I was not special than any other kid who was playing basketball in Kenya at that
Mhm.
particular time. I was talented. I put in the work, but in
Mhm.
terms of like me being like overly, skilled, or I wasn't. I wasn't. If I was actually, if it was a skill level, I think I could dunk and run and jump and block. That's about it. But the guy who brought me to the States, Coach Tony Morley, he told me all I ever want you to do is come back and change someone's life, one person. You don't have to do a lot, just pass it forward to someone else. So when it comes to that, I understand that. And even sometimes people tell me, when I find a podcast and there's only 10 people watching, I tell them I have so much joy when I share stories about
Mhm.
people like you, or Collins, or like people who are doing great things and amazing things in our society, that we have so much negativity that I think it's time for us to bring some positivity. Let's talk about the people who are doing positive things. I'm not saying
Mhm.
there's no negative things. That's not what I'm saying. There is
Mhm.
negative things, but like biggest story like this one I learned this week. I've always known it, but leadership skills. They're talking
Mm,
about in the morning. If you wake up and you look for gratitude, it's amazing how that day changes. But if you
mm,
wake up and say, "Man, nimechoka leo, hata sisikii kwenda hii job," like the whole day, that's your mind state. But if you wake
absolutely.
up and you look for things like which you're like, "Man, I'm glad I'm alive today," and you
Mm,
approach your day that way, the day changes. So, no, I'm with you. Keep blazing, keep blazing. But I don't know even where to start with you because you've got so many, you've got so many things you going on. But the first thing I actually want to tell you, is you look amazing. You have 5 kids. You look amazing. Uh, au hiyo mental state ya niko na mtoto mmoja basi sasa mimi ni mama. Let's talk about that and why do you think it's that important for female, for ladies to understand that? I know you're big on women and pregnancy and post after giving birth. Like, why do you think it's so important for you? Like, why did you think it's important?
all right. Just before I talk about that, you've mentioned about someone who said about 10 people watching the view. I mean, the
Yes,
videos that you know, coach. There are videos that we watch on YouTube that were done very many years ago.
yes,
You know, and
yes,
those videos are the ones that have changed some of our lives. So these stories that you get to share that will touch a young person in this generation in few years to come, or even tomorrow, or even another later date, but it might not be meant for now, but it might be meant for future. So I mean, those are kind of things, negative things that I really push away and I really don't want to get into. So coach, keep doing what you're doing. Even if you have one person watching, that's
man.
enough, you know.
So I'm gonna tell you something even about these videos. Even if nobody was watching, I have so much joy and fun when I do these videos that even to explain to someone like what I get from is someone will look at me like crazy because I have sharing your story and getting to know you, getting to know when I do my research and I learn things about you like I was not aware of. I'm like, wow, she did that. Wow, she did that. So I like that part also. So even if
Thank
it's one
you.
person, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Of course, and we're doing it now. So anyway.
Yes, yes, yes,
So yeah, Mama Fitness is I love the fact that God blessed me to be a mother. Why I started Mama Fitness is because of one, I'm a mom, and the journey of motherhood has been a blessing to me. It's also been one of the really challenging part of my life. I mean, I never thought being a parent is such a huge task. So when I got my when I got my children, I got to understand what my mom went through, or even what other women are going through. You know, I would hear stories of things that women are going through or mothers are going through after getting babies, and I would think, I Sasa, why is it a big deal that you cannot even get time to,
to do other things.
you know? And I'm thinking, and then I was also in this category of, so ukiolewa, when you get married, you keep off your friends, you don't want to do things. But then I didn't understand that getting being a mom, you can go through challenges like postnatal depression, and
Yes,
people are so quick to judge you and to say all these kind of negative things, but they are not in your place. So having experienced or having going through motherhood, I got to understand. So there are challenges that comes with being a mom. Then I was so happy knowing that I'm blessed to to keep a fit life, because I've been in a sport field for quite a long time. Then I asked myself, what is it that I'm going to do that I'm going to be a blessing to moms and share my story for them to see my daily life, for them to see what God is helping me to do as a mom, and make them understand, you know what, you can also do it. So that's why I started Mama Fitness Kenya. It's a movement that helps women to keep a fit life and helps them to become mentally strong, physically strong, and emotionally strong. So the motto of Mama Fitness Kenya is healthy body, healthy mind, healthy communities. Because you understand, I'm not trying to be feminist here, but you know what? A community that has mothers is a community that would grow very well. And we know it very well that in a family setting, when your mom is there or when a woman is there, they are able to make sure that the house is okay and everything is in place. So a community that has a healthy mom is a community that will grow very well and would actually become a better community. But a community that will have a mom or a woman that is dying out there because of depression, that is really struggling with things that she cannot get herself out, that means we'll have a lame kind of family, and then our community is going to become lame, because who will take care of our children and who will be there to support um, our spouses or even our communities, you know. So then I said, you know what, let me just go into this. Let me document my daily life. Let me go out of my way, look for other professionals who are going to help me in this, because I mean, I'm not qualified in so many other things, you know. And it's been a very great journey and a very satisfying journey of just working with women and encouraging them to know that you know what, we've been through this. We are going through some of the things that you're going through right now, but we can do this to support each other and become better in the society, and also for yourself. Because for me, I always know that you cannot give from an empty cup. You have
No,
to be
no, it's
full.
hard. You can't have you got to fill your cup. You got to fill your cup. You know.
You have to fill your cup. And for
Oh
me,
yes.
one of the ways that I fill my cup is keeping fit, going out for coffee dates with my girls, going out for me time sometimes. And I love massages. I mean, I'll just go possibly twice a month and just have time for yourself. And sometimes, coach, you don't have to go out of your house to do some of these things. You can do them within the comfort of your space, you know. And also just finding help and even asking even your friends to come and just take the kids and go out so that you can have the whole house and the whole time. You know, let me tell you, coach, once you start getting babies, when the kids go out and you're left there all day alone, you feel like heaven has just come down, you
Man, I
know?
got three of them. I got three of them, and my last one is five. So I understand that he go everywhere I go. I
Yeah.
can't leave when I'm home. He's everywhere. So
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. So just encouraging each other and getting to know there are people out here to support us, and the people who are going through the same things you're going through. It's amazing. And you know what, it's not just about the challenges alone, because like you said, me, I'm a big supporter of throwing in throwing out positive attitude or positive energy, because
Yes.
I feel like negative energy keeps draining us and keeps making us feel um, being a mother is a hard thing, or being a parent is a hard thing, or this life is just too hard. But you know, just being positive and, like you said, wake up in the morning and say, this is going to be a great day, you know, and just
Yes.
knowing that, you know what, I mean, God has given me this. I should be grateful for this. What can I do about this thing that I'm struggling with, you know? So if you live in a society where there's so much positivity, then I feel like we're going to help each other. So Mama Fitness is a movement that is helping women out there. And I'm so glad that even after I moved to Addis, it's been an amazing journey, even working with the women in Addis here. And I mean, a woman is a woman, irrespect, regardless of of the culture or of anything. And it's amazing on how I'm getting to learn the women in artists, and they are amazing. I cannot wait for COVID to, I mean, for things to get back to where they were, because I'm really, really looking forward to get even into the prisons here, and even get out there and just connect more with the women around here. So for me, yeah, it's a blessing to give back to women.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised. We are more similar than different. I think, and that's what I've traveled a lot, and I tell people it's crazy. If you're looking for differences, you'll find them obviously, but the
Yeah.
similarities that we have as human beings, there's so many. There's so many
Mm,
similarities that you connect with people. Even when you go to different countries, you connect very fast with people, especially if you're giving
mm,
off good vibes. It's very easy to connect with people. But it's the thing I like the most about what you do is
mm,
you've taken out the element of excuses. For example, and what do I mean by excuses? One of the things we are very good in Kenya is I miss was in the gym, sina doya kulipa membership, So you've taken that away. I've seen you working with water bottles. I've seen you using your kids. I've seen you just doing body. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Even that approach. Why do you approach it that way? I see many people go to the gym. Everything is affordable. It's fancy. It has the mirrors, has all that. But you, on the other hand, you've emphasized more on using what you have. I think I even saw a video of you talking about sometimes I'm cooking and I'm doing squats.
mm,
I'm picking up my kid and I'm doing 500 squats by the time I finish cooking. Why do you
mm.
have that approach to things you do as opposed to like just tell people get a membership, go to the gym, you're good?
All right. I know it's we live in a world where going to work and coming back home, uh, people come back home sometimes late because of work, and they have to work. So working with women, there's so many times that I hear I do not have time to work out because I go to work at this time, I come back, I have to cook, I have to do this, blah 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 blah, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, but then looking at my life, I wouldn't say that my life is the same with other people, because I took a break of 3 years not to work, almost 3 and 8 months. But before I took a break, I while I was still working, I would wake up very early in the morning, 4 a.m., and do a 1 hour workout and then go to work. So for me, this is what I always know, coach, is that if something is a priority to you, then you will create time for it.
Hebu
So
kabla uendelee, hebu ongeza volume tena. If something is what? If something, say that again. Say that again. I like that. I like that.
if something is a priority to you,
Yes.
then you
Yes.
will create the time for it. So for
Yes.
me, working out is a priority. So I create time for it. And then I got to understand that, you know what, as and especially as being moms, you want to be around your children, you want to see what is going on with their lives at home, because you see we're working in a busy kind of life, you're always at work. Then when you come, you want to go to the gym. That means you also stay away from the kids. For me, I'm a very big supporter of parents just creating more time to spend with their kids, because they grow so fast, and the values that will instill in them while they're young, these are the values that will help them grow. Coach, I will tell you the truth. Being raised by a mom and a dad that were present while I was young has really helped me to understand the values of being present to my kids, and especially my dad, because my mom, she's a businesswoman and she still does her businesses to date. But my dad, and I'll be very honest with this, I don't remember a day that I saw my dad coming home these late hours of the night. My dad was always there by 4:30, and I remember we used to take tea together every day. So that made me grow very more closer to him, even more than my mom, because my dad was always present, and we will do a lot. like even slash. So unajua slash the
Eh,
compound.
Shalomanyas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are things that I remember now, and I miss those moments. And I'm thinking, why would I spend more time at work? And when I come home, I would want to. And I'm not saying going to the gym is wrong. No, 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 no.
No,
What
no,
I'm
no. That,
saying, yeah, what I'm saying is, as a mom, you can create time possibly to go to the gym maybe twice or once. That's my thinking, not everyone's thinking, but create the other time to even come back home and work out with your kids. And through that, you get to bond with them. And through that, you can also be able to pick up things that you possibly not pick them up if you were somewhere else. And for me to be very sincere, I mean, just being around the space of my kids is amazing. And also working out within the space of my home. I don't have to go out. You know, I finish my workout, I take my shower, I make my tea, and I have
yeah,
time alone in the house. That's amazing. But also there's a bit of other women say that I'm not motivated to work out a lot alone, you know, and I really understand that because even me, sometimes I need other women or other friends or a partner, a workout partner to work out with. But this is what I say: if you need someone to help you to push, then sometimes you can find a workout that is more fun to you, that you can do it alone than if someone else is not there, you know. But also, you see, during COVID time, it's hard to bring in everyone to work out with because you don't know how people are taking care of themselves. But now, I mean, you can also call your friends and work out together with them because when you look at my even like other videos for a very long time. We work out a lot with women in my house and they go to their places and we work out together. So that's just bit of being at the comfort of your space, watching your kids and being able to take care of your home while you're working out, and at the same time you're taking care of yourself. I mean, what else
yeah,
would we want, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Eh,
yeah. I couldn't
but
excuse. I couldn't excuse.
Yeah, but you see, like now, especially if you want to grow more muscle and possibly you're not able to afford like the weights and all that, then you can go to the gym. But for me, if you can afford to buy the weights and put them at the space of your home and still grow muscle using the weights, I mean, just get them and work out. Let your kids grow knowing that keeping a fit life is very important because that discipline, it's going to help your kids when they grow up. Because for me, when I used to see the Navy um, soldiers running, those are the
Yes,
things that still play back at the back of my mind, you know, going for the competitions in my high school. I mean, those are the things that right now, when I look at how I look at keeping fit and why it's important is because of the things that I was exposed to while I was young. And by the way, Coach Nikwambie, I wanted to become a Navy officer, you know?
you and me both. I have a cousin. I have a cousin. I have a cousin who was in the Navy. I used to love when they put on those white uniforms.
And the way they used to look beautiful. And I always feel so bad that I applied and they didn't take me. And they took some of my friends who they didn't even take up the jobs, you know?
Ulikuwa uko fit, walisema uko fit, walisema huwezi kimbia.
Wacha nikwambie hiyo story huwa inaniuma because I always saw myself with the white suit. And then now my sister, who was not very, very sporty, now she's in the army, you know, and my dad just um, retired the other day. And I mean life, you know, but I'm so glad that this is how it turned out. But I always wish that I was in the army. I mean, in the Navy.
Before we continue, I got someone here. He says he's a great friend of yours. He's asking, Ask Nancy, what age should we introduce our children to fitness?
Hey, Fred. Fred, I worked with him in the Dadaab refugee camp. We used to play basketball with him every day, and I'm so glad.
Yeah, yeah, he's asked what age is the right age.
It's amazing that he's watching us. Fred, thank you for watching. So, um, I don't think there is a specific age that you need to like scientifically prove that you need to introduce your kids to your children to fitness. You know what? The moment you get your baby, coach, there are the stages of child development.
Yes,
Is the crawling bit. If the baby doesn't crawl, that means there is it's an alarm, like, you know what, you need to check the baby, take the baby to the hospital and find out why the baby is not walking. I mean, it's not crawling. And then the baby starts standing up, and you see a parent trying to hold the baby to try to see if the baby can
can
make
walk.
steps.
Yeah, can make
Yeah,
sense. Yes,
yes. Then you get to understand, um, you get to know if the joints of the baby, they're okay, and you get to see if the baby can make more steps. Then it gets to a point where now you try to leave the baby to stand alone and to walk. And you know why in schools, in kindergarten, when they go to school, and they introduce to these plays the motor skills, is because the teachers want to see if this baby can be able to do something with their hands, with their legs, and even the cognitive skills, to see if the baby is able to think, when they're doing something. So fitness, I would say, starts from after birth, you know. If
yeah,
I'll put it that way, because fitness is about movement, it's movement. You need the movement. So I don't think there's a specific age that a child should be introduced to fitness. But of course, there are some kind of sports that are best for small children, and even as they get to grow up, because the same kind of sport that you give to small kids that are between the age of 3 to 5 is not to 6 is not the same that you can give from the age of 7 to 12, because
yes,
and they are all different. And
yes,
I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to work with a school to give back to the society through teaching sports in school, and those are things that I'm also still getting to learn, that there are different kind of stages that you can give this sport and this sport depending on their ages. So really, I don't, unless a baby has a medical condition that the doctor needs to approve and say this particular child needs to do this kind of activity to help this child to grow in this area. But fitness, it's the best thing that you will give to children. Yeah.
yeah.
And
I have a son. He's 5. I work out with my son. I work out with my son. He's 5. He
yeah.
laughs about me. He does push-ups the wrong way, but he finishes before me, and he tells me I'm an old man. So, and he tells me I'm an old man. So I understand. It's fun. Like it's fun, but in fitness and everything you do, obviously there is ups and downs. But
Mm,
for you jumping, like for example, to the prison ministry, and you working with people like Ndela Fitness, Brenda, and you guys going there. Like,
mm.
how do you even think about why do you even think to go there? Like, most people have been, I don't care, they're in prison, why go anyways?
Um, I miss them so much. I'll tell you for a fact. I miss those moments. I miss every time that I went there. Coach, we volunteered to work with them for 11 months now before I moved to Addis. And why uh, um, Langata Women's Prison? It's because there's a time I was just driving late uh, from a workout, because I used to go workout in Kiambu Road sometimes. While I was driving, and I don't know how I just got that feeling, and I started asking myself, why? how do the women at the prison being able to overcome the mental issues like depression, like stress, the feeling of talking to someone, you know, and it was so heavy in my heart that, well, it's okay. I know it's okay to say this. It was so heavy in my heart that I had to, when I got to the gate of my house, I prayed and cried so much. And I asked myself, what is it that I can do to give back to the women's there? And God was great because the commissioner for Langata Women's gave me the opportunity to give back to them. So we used to go there twice a week to work out with them, and then we will do a cup of tea the other day, and bread. We'll buy so many bread, and then, coach. By the way, you cannot take anything to the prison. You have to
Yes.
give they themselves.
Yes.
So for us, we'll give what we have because we didn't have any sponsor, and we did that for 11 months. So we'll give that to the officer. She'll take it to the kitchen, and they would make tea, and we would share stories, we'll share fun stories, and they would laugh. We will dance a lot. Let me tell you, at the prisons, they have gifts and talents that people out here do not know. Those ladies can dance, those ladies can do amazing things. And when you hear their stories, you will not be very quick to point a finger and say, you did this, because the things that some of them did is others actually say that they found themselves into the prison just because the person who committed a crime was near the was around their vicinity, and they're told,
Yes.
how come you are here and this person was here, and then they're taken to prison. Others, they say, the things they did because of anger. And coach, how many times have you umekasirika, like you get so angry with things, you know
Like, it's tough. And again, I'm not even one of the people to judge. I'm not even the right person who can
Yeah,
sit out here and judge because,
yeah,
again, everybody's human and trials and tribulations are part of the journey.
yeah,
You just got to learn. You just got to learn. Once you go through one time, you learn your lessons and
yeah,
hopefully you stray,
yeah,
you understand them. And
yeah. Because our difference with some of them is because we were able to control the anger that we've had, but some people were not able to control the anger, and they get to um, regret later and say, "I wish I didn't do this." When you
yes,
when you come to understand that bit of, it's about how you control a situation or an emotion, then that is going to help you to make the right decision. Because even in other areas of life, not because of anger alone, but how you're able to control it. And coach, sport gives us the discipline of also becoming very mentally strong, that even
yes.
when you go through some other challenges in life, you know the way we are so used to pushing, and you're saying, oh, I'll get the PR of 120 kg squat. And by that coach, meaning if you can 100 kg squat, I can't wait to go back to the gym and do them. So,
I do upper body. I don't do my legs. All I do, my legs is running.
I,
My knees hurt. I skip leg days. All I do is upper body all week.
I can imagine the way you're holding the barbell and your legs are shaking.
Yeah, they get they used to carry 270, so they get used to it. They get used to it. They get strong.
Yes. So,
Yeah,
so when you mind, you train yourself to you're saying that I'll do a jump squat higher than this, and you keep training yourself to do better things, like to train your body to do things that you never thought that you will do them. That means mentally you're becoming strong. So why I felt like I need to take fitness to the prisons is because I know working out makes us become even mentally strong. And I'm so glad that Brenda and Della and Kathy Afrobics, they were always with me, and we went there, and I mean, it was so amazing. Every time we'd get out of there, would get out of there satisfied and fulfilled. And I'm telling you, coach, I mean, there's nothing that beats giving back to the society. I still remember their stories, and most of the times I would feel if I was in a position, I'll be able to, I mean, to help them and just do so much. But I mean, you cannot do it as an individual because others
It's
need,
tough, tough.
yeah, others need
Yeah,
lawyers to help them to be bailed out. They've not been able to find a lawyer who can help them just because they don't have people to support them. And it's, I mean, the stories are just like the way you're just sharing our stories. When you get to hear their stories, you'd want to be there all the time. And that's why it makes me really sad that during this COVID time,
yeah. It's
people are
tough,
not
tough
able
place.
to,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
people are
know
not able
Agina says, Agina is
to,
saying it's true. Giving back to society is the way to go. So shout out to
yeah.
Agina. Uh,
Mm, mm,
yeah, but so when you look back, and how you've approached life, and how and where you're coming from and where you are today, what are some of those things? Or, first of all, let's start with somebody. Like when I remember when I was playing basketball, I had people I looked at, and for me, it has always been like I understood. I had favorite players in the NBA like Scottie Pippen, but for me, I had players in Kenya. Like I played with Isaac Omole, I played with him and I liked how he played. I saw people like Larry Odell and Ronnie Owino, and those were I was like, man, these guys can play, and they
mm,
really helped me. We never spoke about it, but I would look and I would see the things they did better than we did. But they
mm,
shaped how I approached everything I did because I would see
mm,
them and I knew Larry would work more than everybody else. And those are things
mm,
I took out. Did you have people like that you watched and learned from, or is it just that you have the self discipline to push yourself and keep going?
mm. Um, I wouldn't say that I have a specific person, but these two things made me come out into the fitness world. One is my dad. My dad is played a very big role in me getting out in sport because one, I was not raised with a dad that was that had everything in life. I mean, I've seen it all. The things that I saw my dad going through while we were young. Even coach, by the way, we went to high school, and I would go with many people wouldn't even know, like 300 shillings pocket money or even 500, and just because of what my dad used to go through. And and so knowing that, and you see, as a child, you tend to compare yourself with your neighbors, and being in a barrack setting where you see your neighbors, they have bikes, they have all these things, nice stuff, and you guys don't have it all. It was not really easy as a small kid. Then this is the second thing. I was a really fat kid. Like my name was Yokozuna, like my nickname. And that name, I know it
Doesn't
is
show
my
now.
skirt,
It doesn't show
my,
now.
my skirt was always up here, you know?
Yes,
Unajua unavaa skirt ya shule iko hapa juu.
high waist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's amazing. So being a small kid and people calling you nicknames just because of how you look, that was really hard for me, and my self-esteem went down so much. Now, being in this generation where body shaming is not allowed at all, and being big, for me, I really don't have a problem with it, and I wouldn't tell someone that you don't look nice because you're big. I mean,
yeah.
for me, you
Please.
if you keep fit, that's okay. Like if you're doing some daily routine workouts, that's fine. But you see, during that time as a small kid, when people are calling you names because of your body, that that like really put my self-esteem down. Coach, I didn't like myself as growing up. I didn't even trust very many people. I would feel I am not beautiful. I would feel I am not like I'm not allowed to, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be where other kids are because of the names that I went through. And then imagine going to high school, going with that kind with my body, then I'm getting these other characters who think when you come from town, you owe it all to I mean you own it all. And you know the kutoka ati unaenda shule shags wanaona nyi wasi watao.
Mzee wa tao lazima umekamla ka kitu, lazima ukuna ka kitu. Huwezi kuwa unakuja hapa na wewe unasema tuko sawa, haiwezekani.
So going
Yeah.
there with my body, and then you're still getting people body shaming you still in high school. I was like, you know what? So me, I went to keeping fit with the wrong reason of I'm going to show you. Yani nitaonesha. You will know that I'm capable of getting this slender kind of body because that's the kind of body that was accepted then. And coaches started working out. But you know what? I appreciate the fact that they called me all those names because that trained me to, I know I got to keeping fit to the wrong reasons, but that kept trained me to become a disciplined person, to know that consistency is everything, and to know that working out and training hard will help me in my other day of life. And I mean also open doors that I never thought that would open in my life. So for me, I wouldn't say that I had figures in the sport area that made me get into being sporty, but I would say the fact that I wanted to prove I can become a better person in the society. I can have this body that all of you wanted to for me to have. That was it all. But also the fact that my dad went through the things that you were going through as a young kid, it was also a way of escaping,
Yeah.
finding just a way to reduce stress or think about other things. And coach, I mean, every time I would play like any sport, I would feel so good. And now, but I know you don't know, I'm also a very good handball player. I played volleyball. I used to run 100 meters. And then hard disc. I know you know hard disc and shot put.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are the things that I played, and I really performed very well. But basketball was just everything because I found a very good coach who not only trained me the basics of basketball, but also trained us holistically, to train our minds. Kiso is amazing. To date, I mean, we still keep in touch, and he knows my every move, you know, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty, finding a mentor who can train you into sport and who can also work with you in your daily life and get to know what are you doing in campus, after campus, what are you going to do? And even during this time, I took a break from work. I called him and I asked him, Coach, I'm doing Mama Fitness and I'm doing this. What do you think I can do to still give back to the young kids? And he told me, Nancy, go to high schools. I mean, you can coach basketball, go and find opportunities. And my kids were in Juja Preparatory in on Thika Road. And I went there, I saw the principal, and she gave me the opportunity to train basketball. And I used to train with Juma. I know you know Juma.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Juma. I know Juma.
Yeah. So I was his assistant coach, and I did that for 7 months. But just the satisfaction of knowing that I'm working with young kids and training them and giving back to what I was taught back in my high school life. I mean, that's everything. So for me, getting to sport was a way to escape what I was going through, but it shaped me to become a better person. And that is why I'm going all out and giving back to the society.
We need to design a T-shirt. They call me Yokozuna. Look at me now. Oh, we need to do it.
Ah, yes, 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 bwana ni bo coach, nakwambia we hata size za chini nakwambia
Yeah, but as
nilikuwa na mastatu mpaka huku he.
ni noma. Viazi vya karai. Watu na viazi vya karai. It's called viazi vya karai.
Sasa hata nikwambie Mombasa kwanza ni hizo viazi za karai, bajia, sijui nini. And then so when tulikuwa tunatoka shule from school, there's a base where we used to go. Tunanunua, tumeweka huku kwa skirt, so skirt iko na mafuta, huku iko na mafuta.
But
Yeah,
that's childhood. Man, those are things you can't change. Man, they
yeah,
eventually shape up who we are in the future. But as we wind down, if there's someone who's really watching and someone is wondering, if someone is, and when I talk about this, I don't talk about even in fitness. I don't talk about in life, like life lessons you have learned and things someone. What are one thing you can help someone? I always get these things. I call them nuggets. You get these nuggets and you put them in your toolbox. So whenever you're struggling in life, you remember, hey, if I can do this, I can make it no matter what my situation is. What's that one thing you'd like people to take away from this interview today?
Coach, I love praying. I love praying so much. That's one of the area that I find my answers, and I find um my direction of the things that I should do. When I turn to God, because I always know that I cannot make it on my own, and the things actually I've been able to achieve in life is through prayer, because I was raised by a very prayerful mom that helped us to learn the beauty of just seeking God and praying. So praying is one thing that I do, and I found it very amazing. And let me be very sincere to you. Most of the times, even when I'm working out, I tell God, Jesus, help me to be able to finish my workout well. Help me to be able to do this workout, and it has worked amazingly enough. Even the little things that we think will not will not need our prayer, they need our prayers. Even just saying a prayer that helped me not to have an accident when I'm working out, because me, I fear like any injuries.
Injury.
I mean,
Yes.
uh I fear injuries a lot, because I know when you have an injury, getting back to where you are, it's not easy. So those kind of prayers have kept me going. But secondly, I know and I understand we live in a world where very many people they feel ashamed to talk about the things that they are going through. Me, coach, to be very sincere, I am at the level where I wouldn't be embarrassed to talk about the challenges that I go through life. I find it very okay to talk to people that you can trust, and you can tell them, this is what I'm going through. How can you help me to become a better person? And of course, coach, you cannot talk to everyone. And
No,
I'm always
you gotta
I'm
have the
always
right people in your corner. You gotta have them.
yeah, yeah, I'm always very sure that there's always this one person who we can always go and just open up our hearts and tell them, you know what, I am struggling with this. I'm struggling with drug addictions. I'm struggling with keeping the right relationships. I'm struggling with sleep. I'm struggling with, there's so many
Yeah.
things that we struggle with. Then when we get out there and we talk with the right people, you'll be so surprised that those people, they've also gone through the things that you're going through, and they sought help, and they're now in a better place. Or some of them are still in the journey of becoming better people because they asked for help. Because, coach, I mean, no one knows um, everything or all the solutions to some of the things that we go through. But if we can just reach out for help, we'll be able to help. And then the third thing is just being consistent and disciplined in almost all the areas of our lives. I know it's not easy. I mean, we are human beings, and every day
Not
we
easy.
fall.
Not easy.
It's
Not
not going
easy.
to be, coach. It will never be easy.
If it was
Never be
easy,
easy.
everybody would do it.
Yeah, it will never be easy.
Yeah.
And I always have this thought in my mind that, you know what? God forbid, today you're in this place of life, then tomorrow something else happens, you know. But this is the rule that always keeps me. As much as I'm praying, I always know that the same way small children, when they're crawling, they're trying to stand up, fall down, they keep trying to stand up again and fall down, and they keep standing up. So, I mean, life is also like that. The thing is, if you fall down, and we are all bound to fall at any time of our lives. I mean, in almost all areas of our lives. I have friends and I've seen things that have happened, some in their education. I mean, they were not able to go through another level in education, and they feel like they've lost it all. I mean, you know, when you look at it in the other positive side, there are things that you can do and you can be able to compensate that. Others,
Yes.
it's in our marriages. I mean, others is in how we relate with our children. We feel like sometimes, I mean, we are failing in some of the areas of our lives, and we think that, you know what? I mean, I'm nothing. Like I'm never going to make it in this life. Coach, if you got to know the things that we go through, or everyone goes through in life, you'll be very surprised that we tend to just stay there and say, you know what? Hii ni kama iliumbiwa tu mimi nikange tu nayo, you know.
Imepangwa. Imepangwa tu mimi nikuwe hapa.
But not
Yes.
knowing that, if only I looked for help, I will be in a very better place. Today, I mean, I'm in a very sad place sometimes, because there are these two good basketball players that I grew up with, that I know, I mean, they never went to the place they wanted to be, And when I look at their lives right now, I'm thinking, I've tried to reach out to them and see if they're able to go back to where they were. But coach, time, there's something that is called time. Sometimes if your season for something goes now, recovering it later in the years, it might take quite some other time. But I always say it is never too late, but it
Oh
can
yeah.
never be the same, So this is what I would say. I mean, all of us, we're going through things in our lives, in our seasons, that we feel like we don't talk about it because other people will think our social status is going down. And to be very sincere, who cares? Coach, many people don't care, by the way. They don't even
Yeah.
care if you've lost your job. Ama, they don't care if things are not going out. They're out there laughing and smiling at you, thinking that they care, but most of them, they don't care, coach. So
Yes.
when you start thinking of, I will not look for help because what will people say? Then that is starting point of losing it all. But there is always someone out there that we can talk to. For me, I thank God for my spiritual moms that I can talk to. I thank God for my girlfriends that I trust, that I can talk to. And even thank God for, I mean, the support system that I have, So when you look at that space, then you'll always be able to find someone to talk to. And I'll also very be glad to say that I thank God for my husband, because he's been a great supporter of helping me to even grow in some of the areas of my life. And I know not everyone is in the same position like I am, but all of us, we all have our challenges in other areas of our lives. But what I'm saying is, if you can look for help, look for help, because tomorrow
Yes.
you'll be glad that you looked for help. Yeah,
Yes.
so
I totally agree. Like it's crazy. Rest in peace, my mom's. But my mom, man, that lady prayed for me. Like
mm,
not just me, my wife, my kids. Um, she is tough. Like it's tough when you talk about prayer. I know how much time she put in praying for me. And I know I'm the person who I am today because of her prayers and what she really believed that I can be able to achieve. So I understand that. And when you talk about people in your corner, that's the biggest one. And my wife is my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my biggest critic. Like she shoots straight with me. Like it don't
Mm.
matter. Like if she gonna give it to me as it is, she's gonna be like, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, if I'm right, she's like, you're right. And even sometimes I get on these journeys and she doesn't even know where I'm headed, and she's
Yeah.
like, okay, so long as you're going that way, I'm with you. And sometimes it's the wrong path, but those are things that have helped me grow to the person I am today. Even being able to sit and do stuff like this, you tell I'm trying to get this software, is this amount of money. Again, there's a budget for the family. So if you have the right people, you gotta make sure you have the right people in your corner. It's not easy. It's not easy to make it and just be able to say that I'm a self-made. It's tough. It's tough.
So,
It's
yeah.
tough. So yeah, it's tough. But
No one made it
man,
alone.
yeah, you can't make it alone. You can't make it alone. But we at the end, Nancy. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you taking your time to share with us and share us your journey. It's been an amazing journey. I appreciate everything have you spoken to us about. I got to know you a little bit more, and hopefully one of these days our paths will cross and we can do something together. Hopefully one day, I'm doing something with. I'm trying to do something a camp with some ladies. So
Mhm.
hopefully, I'm hoping one day our paths will cross and we can do something together in the near future.
God willing. I'll say this again and again. You're one person that I really respect and I really look up to because of what you did in the lives of very many young basketball players in especially in the country Kenya and the work that you're doing. It's amazing. So keep doing it. I'm looking forward to working with you. And of course, God willing, I'm very sure that we'll be able to do it together because I mean we have to give back and I'm so glad that we have the same kind of vision. Thank you for hosting me and I'm looking forward to hosting you soon. So
Man, you know where to find me if you need me. You know where to find me. I'm
ah,
I'm very accessible.
lazima ulipe bana eh? Hey.
Eh, you know where to
Yeah,
find me. So if you need me, you don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Again, I appreciate you and keep doing. I know I look at your exercises sometimes at night when you're working out. I look at them and I try them sometimes. So I still have
thank
some of your stuff. So keep doing it.
thanks. Asante. Thank you for
Sandy,
hosting.
yes, ma'am. And have a wonderful day. And pass my regards to your family.
I will. You too as well. Thank you, coach.
And thank you. Appreciate it. Man, there you've had it. She's the women trainer, fitness, all things she's done. But the biggest thing you have to take away today, you gotta be thankful and give back. This journey is not just for one person. It's tough to be self-made. As people, lots more people claim self-made. It's tough. You gotta have the right people in your corner with you along the journey. Don't hesitate to ask questions. If you need some help, reach out to someone else. You might think you're going through some hard times, but someone else somewhere has always gone through that, or they know how to handle that situation. So I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in today. And that's my time. Until next Sunday, that's my time.